another time. And our story begins several years ago. We were trying to conceive for about 3 years, 9 months, and 26 days. Not that I have it memorized, before we actually received a positive pregnancy result. And in that time, my wife had gone through 2 medicated cycles, 2 IUIs, 6 egg retrievals, 4 embryo transfers, fresh embryo transfers, 1 frozen untested embryo transfer, 2 frozen tested embryo transfers, and countless injections. I just can't believe her resilience and everything she went through just to get us pregnant. And so I have to say that, our journey to creating our daughter, whose name is Hadley Maeve at Stupendous, was very much wanted. She was so loved, and she's still loved to this day. What had happened was I thought the pregnancy was going well. My wife didn't feel the same way. She felt that there was something off. And I attribute that to maternal instinct. But sure enough, our world came crashing down when she went in for the fetal anatomy ultrasound at 19 weeks. And of course, it's in the middle of COVID. She has to go in by herself. And so I get the call, and, I'm just kind of watching everything, and everything looks fine. And so she says, yeah, the doctor left the room. They have to go look at things, and they'll be back, in a little while. So sure enough, time's ticking by. It's going by, and nothing's happening. So I drive home, and I'm like, what's going on? She says, I'm still waiting. And the next call I get from her is a FaceTime where she is in tears, and she just says there's something wrong with her brain. And I said, what's going on? And so we quickly realized that, there was a doctor who came in, did another ultrasound on her, and said that there was fluid on her brain. So Jill, being my wife, being the incredible strong woman she is, she immediately underwent more ultrasounds and an amniocentesis to try to determine what the cause of Hadley's brain malformations were. And so the next morning, we actually we had reached out to a Boston area maternal fetal care unit to get a second opinion. During that whole time frame, the initial doctor called and said that he suspected it was this rare condition called rhomboencephalosynapsis, which is highly rare. Not much has been written about it, but the results are awful. And we still try to get into the Boston area hospital. We were able to do that. We went to that hospital. She went through another rounds of tests. She did more ultrasound, an MRI, and the following day, we kind of gathered in our house with our parents to take the call with the fetal neurologist by Zoom. And she told us, look, it's kind of a spectrum. It could be this, it could be that, but it seems like it's really bad. She has something called ventriculomegaly, aqueductal stenosis, and other global brain malformations. She suggested that her prognosis was poor, and she just told us, hey, look, take some time over the weekend to think about things. So we took the next 48 hours over the weekend to draft what we call our 20 questions to clarify all aspects of what we're being told. And these are questions that as a parent, you never want to have to ask about your child. Are they ever going to know who you are? Are they ever going to leave the hospital? Are they ever going to stand, breathe, eat on their own? And when we met with them the following week, the opinion was slightly different, and it was weird, and they weren't really clear anymore. So we said, you know what, that's it. We're going to a third hospital. So we went down to a prenatal pediatrics institute in Washington, D.C. area. So that following Thursday, we end up going down there. We drive down that day. They took us in. They did yet another ultrasound, another MRI. And it was later that day that the doctor got together with us, along with several members of his team. And we sat down, and he said, look, your daughter's outcome is very grim. If she does even make it to term, which is not likely, she's probably not going to be able to see or hear. She's never going to recognize us. She's not going to be able to sit, stand, walk on her own. She's never going to live independently. She's going to have a shortened lifespan. She's literally going to undergo medical procedure after medical procedure just to keep her alive, none of which are going to improve her medical condition overall. She's going to have uncontrollable seizures that can't be fixed or ameliorated by medication. And she's probably not going to be able to breathe or eat on her own and would be in pain and suffering during the entirety of her short life.